Welcome to your 2021 Subaru WRX STI. WRX stands for World Rally Experimental, also known as World Rally Cross, and the STI, for those of you who don't know, is Subaru Technica International, which is part of their tuning division. So with a new generation here, and it's been announced, nothing for the STI though for the new generation, but just the WRX. Let's do a quick recap on what we have here. So it's a 2.5 turbo 4, 310 horsepower, 290 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed manual transmission. And thankfully, that is the only transmission you can get with the STI. It's a performance vehicle, and I don't know if the new STI will have a CVT option. I hope it doesn't, but I think this is the only way to get the STI, the only way it should be, and thankfully Subaru agrees with me, or maybe I agree with Subaru. We agree. We'll call it that. Driving dynamics, it's a little rough. It's a performance vehicle. I don't know how many people will take this as a daily driver, as opposed to a track vehicle. I don't know if they're going to tune it or not, but I don't think I'd take the STI as my daily driver. As much as I love manual, as much as I love having all this power beneath my right foot. Even with the symmetrical all-wheel drive, I don't know if I would want this 365 days a year. Going back to the tuning side, just for a quick moment, you have the 3 options for your SI drive. You have Intelligent, Sport, and Sport Sharp. Just kind of depends on what you want, what you're doing, how you're driving. It's also got the center diff options for manual and automatic. There's 3 options there as well. So you can not quite tune it, but you can definitely adjust it to how you want it to be driven, depending on where you are, what your conditions are. So thankfully Subaru has done that for the STI drivers. It's not a rough ride, like it's not, without suspension or without any kind of comfort. Just for me, it's a little too rough. Gear shifts are a little notchy. I know they had the rev hang issue a few years ago, and they fixed that up. So it's not bad, and I don't want anyone to get the impression that I'm saying the STI is a terrible daily driver, because it's not. It can be. I've seen plenty of these on the road, but for me, I want something just a little on the smoother side. Taking a look outside, yes, it's in the beautiful Subaru blue. The bright yellow painted brake calipers complement it oh so nicely. And thankfully, Subaru has spec'd this with the big wing spoiler. I think it's just a cool look. It's a classic look. I say classic, and I kind of laugh on the inside, because it has only been 7 years for this generation. But I've seen enough of these out there, and they just have this unmistakable presence on the road. And I kind of stare a little bit longer every time I see one, because they aren't all that common. And it's kind of the same thing with some of the STI's competitors, including the Supra, including the Civic Type R. You see them and you go, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while, or very often for that matter. Overall, I love the look of the current generation, which is the 4th generation STI. Let's jump to the inside. So, yes, the screen is small, but keep in mind, this generation has lasted for 7 years. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So it does have the old school, and I feel weird saying that because it's only been a couple of years since Subaru's integrated the big 11.6-inch vertical screen, but this does have that small tiny screen up top, and the vents, and then beneath the vents you get your infotainment system. It's a nice layout. You've got lots of hard touch buttons. No problems with it as long as I can pull the information out. No issues. You've got a sunroof here. You have plenty of visibility. You can see through the end of the hood, and yes, when you look in your rearview mirror, all you see framing it is that big massive wing spoiler, but it's so high up that you can actually see through it, and it doesn't impede your vision at all. At least it hasn't impeded my vision any of the times that I've had this vehicle in any of its iterations. So comfort wise, seats are pretty good. Recaro racing seats. It took me a little while to find my ideal seating position, only because it's been a while since I've had a Subaru, and I forgot that the headrests go forwards and backwards as well as up and down. So I felt like I was kind of just, my head was floating into an abyss of nothingness. And then I'm like, oh wait, the headrests go forwards, backwards. So I found my seating position, and then my neck and head position were easily fixed by the tilting headrest. So thank you so much for that, Subaru. Steering wheel feels really, really good. You have the nice red stitching STI badging right at the bottom, STI badging right in front of the gear shifter, and I love that the top of the shifter is red. It just helps it stand out. It's a small little detail, but I'm very happy that Subaru has done that. It's the small things. And again, with the seats, there's the red stitching and the red lining as well on the perimeter of the seats. Dashboard, old school with two big analog dials and a small digital screen in the middle. But again, keep in mind the time period this is from and when this came out. And I'm excited to see what the STI looks like for the new generation. Details haven't been put out yet. It's only details on the WRX, which is a small bump of horsepower. But they're saying, and they being the internet people and some of the people in the industry, that it's going to get around 400 horsepower. And I think if they do that, that's going to be that's going to be bonkers. Like, just having all that power. And I know the new Z from Nissan is going to have 400 horsepower. I know the Type R was at 306 horsepower, I believe. That might see a bump if the Civic Type R lives to see another generation. This definitely being a niche market. These high performance sedans aren't going to be for everybody. And then with the news of the change in types of fuel and how we propel cars coming for 2035, big time for change in the automotive landscape. But for now, let's be happy that we have the WRX STI as an option, the Civic Type R as an option, the new Z as an option, the Supra as an option. So manuals are going to be here for a little bit. I don't think they're going to go away, not nearly as popular, but let's hang on to them while we can. So to wrap it up with the 2021 Subaru WRX STI. If you've got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments and I will get my answers to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support and wouldn't be here without you. Also, I got a new hat in case you hadn't noticed. Not usually this kind of a hat guy. It's baseball hats or nothing, but someone gave it to me and I'm going to try it out for a few reviews. Let me know what you think. Until I see you next time in the next review, which should be a few days, be well, be healthy, be safe.